Hello everyone, welcome into Above My Pay Grade. My name is Eric, still on the road visiting family, and wanted to do a couple videos here. I saw in the news the other day, the Marine Corps wants to do away with gendered language. And at first glance you think, what? Because we're all used to, in the military, saying, sir, yes, sir. I don't remember saying ma'am, yes, ma'am, but we refer to officers as sir and ma'am. And then in basic training, do the same. Now, in this article, I'll link it in the description below, they want to do away with the gendered language and refer to people just as their rank. And I have a couple thoughts on this. Like I said, at first glance, sounds really dumb, and I still think it is, but let's go through it. So it says here in the article, the Marine Corps still has the lowest number of women, and they want to de-emphasize gender in an integrated environment. So, number one I want to say about integrated environment, and this is kind of rhetorical, something for you to think about. Why are women still not registering for the draft? Number one, I don't think they should, but in a country where we are taking away all gender-specific roles in the military, why aren't they required to register for the draft? And number two, the Marine Corps did a study a couple years back about the combat effectiveness and what's the correct ratio of women to men in a combat unit. And in theory, the unit should be able to be 100% women, in my humble opinion. And I am all about women being able to apply for these positions. But when the military speaks out two sides of their mouth, when they say, yeah, women can be in these combat roles, but we need to have the correct ratio of women to men in the combat unit, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. In theory, the way the military should work is you find somebody with a qualification, gender doesn't matter because they met the qualifications, and then you could place them in that position. And if that happened to be all women, so be it, because they met the qualifications. So they're admitting there's a difference between the genders by trying to find the correct proportionality. So they're speaking out of two sides of their mouth. That's what frustrates me. If you're gonna go and do this, go all the way. Women need to register for the draft, which I disagree with, and women need to be able to be in a combat unit all by themselves. Again, in my career field, which is pretty difficult to get into, there was several women that kicked ass. They were awesome, but they weren't held to a different standard, and I respected that about them. And most women in these career fields would say the same. Like, I don't want to be held to a different standard. And yet the Marine Corps, like I said, speaks out of both sides of the mouth. So like I said, Marine Corps still has the smallest percentage of women. The study found, which was commissioned by the University of Pittsburgh, for example, the PowerPoint slides from the Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego describing service leaders' traits still use all male pronouns. A leader who is confident in his decisions instills confidence in his Marines. Okay, fair enough. You want to get rid of that if you're recruiting women? I like it. Regarding Marine recruits' treatment of drill instructors, anecdotes suggested female training staff members, even senior ones, were sometimes treated as less than important or authoritative than male counterparts. The study authors suggest that dispensing of sir and ma'am in favor of neutral drill instructor will help to counteract this behavior. So you may be one of those people that thinks women shouldn't be in combat roles, and that's a sound, I think, defensible position if you want to hold that. Like I said, what the Marine Corps is doing is trying to split the baby. They're trying to say, hey, women can be in combat roles, but we need to have the correct proportion of women. And there's been rampant accusation of lowering the standards, for instance, in Ranger School and in career fields in the Air Force, lowering the standards to get women through the training. As long as you don't lower the standards, majority of people are like, okay, bring it on. You're welcome to join the career field as long as there's not two different standards. And in the military, by the way, there's always been two different standards. Not for special operations, but military as a whole. There's been a women's physical fitness test and a men's physical fitness test. And why? If we're all the same, why? Again, don't speak out of two sides of your mouth. Okay. So they wanted you to change basically how recruits see female drill instructors, see female Marines. My question for you guys is this forced? Is it natural to want to protect women? Is it natural for men to see women differently and for women to see men differently than other women? And is that something you can just force upon recruits and say, yeah, just I expect you to see them the same? I will say to you naturally, in the military, in my experience, most people respect accomplishment. So whether it's female or male, if they have a respected position where they had to accomplish quite a few things to get that position, I haven't seen, just from my perspective, any sexism in that environment. I'm sure it exists. But if you're going to lower the standard, if you're going to change things to be more accommodating, and yet say everything's the same, you cannot, it's like pissing on somebody's leg and telling them it's raining. It doesn't work in my opinion. So they're trying to do both at the same time. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll link this story there too. See you guys next one. Peace.